Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Today we are remembering exactly 100 years since Saka Panja Sahib. And I'm sure we've all seen this amazing painting when we go to Gurdwara Sahib. We see these Gursikhs of all ages lying down on the track, just moments away from a raging train. But what's the story behind this? Let's take out a few minutes to learn our history today and pay our respects to the Shaheeds. Saka translates to a massacre, Shahidi, which takes place during a short amount of time. It's different to a Kalukara, which is a large-scale genocide, such as the Chota and the Vadda Kalukara of the 18th century. And Panja Sahib is the historic asthan where Bhai Mardana Ji asked Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji Maharaj if he could go and search for water to quench his thirst. He climbed up the mountain and reached Peer Wali Kandari, who refused, and he replied saying, "If your Guru is so amazing, why don't you ask him to quench your thirst?" When Maharaj Sahib Ji heard this, they moved a stone from the ground and it released a fountain of pure water. At the same time, the water of the Peer started to drain, and in anger he threw a large rock which rolled down the hill towards Maharaj Ji. And this kautuk, this miracle, Maharaj Sahib Ji stopped the patthar using their panja, meaning their hand, and Wali Kandari became a Sikh of the Guru, witnessing this miracle, and Panja Sahib is the Gurdwara that is there now in remembrance of this great Sakhi. So back to Saka Panja Sahib. We see the Sikh prisoners on the train, but who are they? During the British rule in the early 1900s, there was a Gurdwara Sudhar Lahar movement, and that was to remove the Gurdwara control from the corrupt Mahants. One of these Mahants was Sundar Das, and he would treat this historic asthan, Guru Ka Bagh Amritsar Sahib, he would treat it as his own personal property. He would steal the donations from the Sangat, he would commit acts of beadbi. And Gursikhs would normally use the firewood from Guru Ka Bagh for the Langar Seva. And one day the Mahant, he had 5 Gursikhs arrested for so-called trespassing and stealing of this land. This sparked the Guru Ka Bagh Morcha. And in this Morcha, 5 Gursikhs and then even 100 Gursikhs, Jathas, groups of 100 Gursikhs, would do Ardas Akal Takht, and then they would go to Guru Ke Bagh, and every day as an act of protest against this injustice. Gursikhs were seen to be wearing a black dastar, which nowadays is very popular, very common, but originally it was a dastar colour that was introduced as a sign of protest after Saka Nankana Sahib. And every day these Gursikhs would be arrested, they would be tortured by the police would beat the Gursikhs with their weapons till they fell to the floor with broken bones and covered in their own blood. It was so bad that an English reporter, in his own words, says that it was like witnessing not one, but hundreds of Christs being crucified on a daily basis. A few days later, a large group of Sikhs, army pensioners, joined in the protest to free Gurukars, knowing that they would be sentenced as traitors to the British rule. The Gursikhs were arrested and sent to Attak jail via train, which also passed through Panja Sahib station. The Singhs were tortured, badly beaten, and also starved for many days as they travelled towards Panja Sahib. This news reached the Sangat of Panja Sahib, who, under the leadership of 2 Gursikhs, Bhai Pratap Singh Ji, the treasury Khajanchi of the Gurdwara, and Bhai Karam Singh Ji, a great Kirtani and Pracharak, decided that they would stop the train no matter the cost and serve langar to the Gursikhs. The langar preparations commenced in the early morning after Asa Diwar Kirtan. All Gursikhs of Panja Sahib came together, about 300 in number. They arrived at the train station waiting for the darshan of these Singhs on the train. The railway conductor at the station explained that he had received orders that the train must not stop here and that the Sangha's efforts in preparing langar was a waste of time. Look how amazing the Gursikhs and how they responded. Their response was that the conductor, you're under the orders of your British masters, and we are under orders of Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji Maharaj to serve these things no matter what. You follow your orders and we will follow ours. Both Gursikhs, Bhai Pratap Singh Ji and Sardar Karam Singh Ji, they lied down in front of the train track, and many other Gursikhs did the same. Not just Singhs, but Singhaniya, elders and even children prepared themselves for the train to run over them. Such was the dedication and strength of the Qaum that even a young mother with a baby only a few months old sat on the tracks. When questioned, she replied that, "Why should my baby miss out on receiving Shahidi, the greatest blessing for a Sikh?" So on today's Itihasik day, just imagine this scene. A great train fully accelerating reaches Panja Sahib station, where hundreds of Gursikhs are sitting on the train tracks. On one side you have the driver panicking and sounding the whistle again and again, and on the other side you have Gursikhs doing jap of Vaheguru, Vaheguru, Vaheguru. The train gets louder and louder, but no Gursikh leaves the tracks. Right at the front you have Bhai Karam Singh Ji and Bhai Pratap Singh Ji, who are instantly crushed by the train. But such was the Kaltak, the miracle of Sikhi, the power of Gursikhs. It is said that after crushing these two Gursikhs and injuring a number of others, the train suddenly stopped. Sounds of Jaikare were heard, and the Sangat rushed to serve langar to the starved Singhs in the train. It is said that the young wife of Sardar Pratap Singh rushed to his aid. He was still breathing despite having the train run over him. Look how amazing these Gursikhs were, how strong he was, only 23 years old. He said to his wife, "Go and serve the Singhs on the train first. Make sure they all have langar, and only then come back to attend to me." The ardas was complete. All the Gursikhs had kept their bhajan in a display of love and sacrifice. Bhai Karam Singh Ji was shaheed a few hours after the Saka, and Bhai Pratap Singh Ji, they survived the night. In the morning, even though he had a split jaw and he could barely speak, still he recited Siri Japji Sahib Ji da Path out loud. He then obtained his shaheedi. He said to his young wife that she is to never cry over his shaheedi and to stay engrossed in Gurbani and Simran, and that is a bhajan that she kept to her last breath as well. After the Saka, the train driver was questioned regarding why the train stopped. He replied saying that he was commanded not to stop the train no matter what happened, but when the train went through Bhai Pratap Singh Ji and the Gursikhs, it felt like the train had hit a mountain and stopped by itself. He did not press the brakes. That was the Shakti and the power of Dhan Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji Maharaj and the Gursikhs. Today we remember the Saka, and this eventually led to breaking free the Mahant management of the Gurdwara Sahibs. From this Saki, we learn the importance of respecting our Guru Kars, stand up to any beadbi that happens at our Guru Kars. And not just that, we learn the importance of serving Gursikhs first, Sikhi first. Whether that's in our thoughts, in our actions, in our dasavand, in our langar, we hear in Barni the importance of serving other Gursikhs. Sikh ko pilai pani pao kar kur khet asmed jag phal Sikh ko jivaye ka. The greatest karam, the greatest action that we can do is serve other Gursikhs, the form of the Guru. And with love and devotion, if one was to serve water or feed another Gursikh, it is considered the most rewarding action. So Sad Sangat Ji, may we take these teachings into our own Jeevan and forever remember the Shaheeds who displayed such great actions of bravery and sacrifice. Please forgive me for my mistakes. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.